What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Wars. Thanks for joining me today. Today, guys, we had a miraculous day, $10,739 in gains today. What a crazy day. I'm going to be breaking it all down for you step by step. And I'm also going to get you ready tomorrow for Lotto Friday. Going to help you get ready with my top 3 strategies for you to trade tomorrow. So if you're ready, my friends, let's step into the war zone. First and foremost, let's do some shout outs and we'll get right into it. Bob, Hartz, Deepak, Anthony, Trading Wars Army. What's going on? Bill, Abraham, Briggs, Trading Wars Army. Corey, STK, Dan, David, Greg, Trading Wars Army. Vio, Glenn, Trading Wars Army. Hater, Jan, Dex, Trading Wars Army. San, Liu, Trading Wars Army. Jay Villa, Blaze, Anthony, Alicia, Rob, Trading Wars Army. Good to see you guys. All right. So I also have the broker for the paper account. I'm going to show you guys some orders today if you're interested. All right, I have a full lesson and session planned for you, and I'm very excited to have this stream today and very grateful to have your time. So please stick around as much as you can. Watch this video again if you need to. Drop a like right now if you're excited for it, and let's get right into the strategies. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start off with ranking the strategies in terms of what I think are the most easiest to maybe a little bit more complex. But once you do these strategies a little bit, if you've done them for, a few weeks or at least 20 trades, it shouldn't be too difficult. So the first thing is the orb. Okay. So the orb, we have triggers, we have fibs, orb, triggers, fibs, and we have fractals. Okay, so there's 4, and from these 4 you don't have to do all 4. Okay, so I would want you to focus on 3. 3 allows you to have a nice repertoire, a toolkit of strategies. 4 sometimes a little bit too much. And what we'll do is we'll go through the trading today. We'll talk about all of these opportunities based on the charts, and I'll teach you guys as we go through them so you can learn them and also see if you have any questions. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's recap a few things. We'll start off with the price action today on the SPY and how we traded that today. All right. So I will walk you guys through this. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit the replay. So while I teach you this, I will also be teaching you the Lotto Friday strategies at the same time. So we kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So going into any day, regardless of if it's Lotto Friday or not, you want to draw the previous day's high and low. Okay. So you want to make sure you have that as a reference. That's always going to be very important. Okay. So what we had today was we had CPI data overnight, and it caused the market to gap up. So I'll go over here to the 3-minute chart and we will play the first candle. Okay. So we have that first gap up, right? So we can clearly see that it's gapping up above the high or low. So anytime we have a gap up or anytime we have a gap down, one of my favorite strategies is the opening range breakout. So the opening range breakout is going to be the fastest trade of the day. Okay. It's going to be the fastest trade of the day because it's off of the first candle. So you're going to execute within a few minutes. So you have to be quick with the opening range breakout and you have to be ready to go. Okay. So what exactly is the opening range breakout? Well, the opening range breakout is we're looking for volatility. So whenever we see gap ups like this, we know the market could be extremely volatile because this is obviously a short squeeze, right? Anybody that shorted throughout the week, we have this short squeeze scenario. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about is if we go to the weekly. So remember yesterday, I was mentioning how this high at 39.28 was the key that was holding this bear together. It was holding this bear together. So the CPI data came in, pushed it up, and then we broke through that high. So all of these things are increasing volatility. And with that, you love to take the opening range breakout because you're looking for a quick in and out off of 1 bar. All right. So how do we actually trade it? So what we do is we let the first 3-minute candle close. You can do this on the 3-minute, the 5-minute, or 15-minute. Okay. So from my data, the 15-minute is the highest win rate, but it has a very small target because the 15-minute candle is always a lot bigger than the 3-minute candle because it's 15 minutes worth of trading. The 5-minute and the 3-minute go head to head, Sometimes some months the 5-minute do better, some months the 3 minutes do better. But I like the 3-minute because the candles could be a lot smaller on the 3-minute chart. It gives me the optimal risk to reward ratios. Okay, so let's go ahead here. First 3-minute bar comes in. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and draw the high and the low of that bar. So you can just mark it like this, high and your low. And so you be patient, you wait for the first bar to close. And then when the first bar closes, now you're saying, okay, whichever side it breaks is the side I'm going to take. So if it breaks the low, I'm going to short. If it breaks the high, I'm going to go long. And this is exactly the trade we took to start off the day. Okay, so if I go take this fib, I also like to put my fib on the high to the low like this. Okay, so let's zoom in. So why do I do this? Because the fib will give me targets on both sides. So this is my Fibonacci. This is my full Fibonacci. This has all of these extensions and pullbacks. This is for target setting and different things that I do. You can go ahead and copy this. This is also in the book. Okay. So let's go to the live commentary today, and let's go ahead and talk about that today. So you could see, going to try the 3-minute orb, keep the size small, 1 minute to close, be ready. So we got short at 9:33 and we hit our first target, and then I got my rest of my position to break even. So this is a quick way to start your day. So here we go. Here's our high, here's our low. First candle comes in, breaks your low right there. And where you want to go for is the 272 is a good first target. And then we can continue, and the 50% is and so on. So in this block, 272 all the way down, these are your targets. And if you have a lot of size, you can scale out and leave some runners on. So for me today, as soon as we got to the first target, I put the stop loss to break even, and just because I wanted to lock in some profit. So if you have a lot of size, you can get away with going for like quicker targets. All right. One thing I would say with the opening range breakout, it's not always the best to use with options. Sometimes it's better to use with shares or futures contracts, because a lot of the times at the open with the volatility, the options may be overpriced. So we can easily swap to futures. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. I'll show you on the broker. Okay. So just go ahead and hit me with the 3 if that makes sense. So that was our first trade of the day. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Like, I really want you guys to understand this by the end of today's stream. I want to put my heart and soul into this stream. So let me know how it's going. The orb, I think I explained it the best I could right there. Essentially, we let the first candle close and we let the price action dictate where we trade. And this is a great strategy to just get into a trade, to test the waters. It's very mechanical. You don't have any bias. If it wants to short, you short. If it wants to go long, you go long. And it's a quick way to enter a trade. So let's go ahead and let's just look at some of the big highlights with the orb, okay? So we've taken a lot of orbs for the year in my Discord. And some of the highlights would be like this right here, where we break the low and we come straight into the gap fill. Even days like this, you could see another orb breaking down, okay? So I'm trying to show you some of the highlights of the nice plays we've had. This was another one we took together. Tuesday, boom, straight down. And here's an example of a failure when it wicks you out, comes back in. So I just want to show you what a good opening range breakout looks like. And the one we had today wasn't great, but it was still good enough to get some money. So, but a real solid opening range breakout will look like this. And this can easily make you a ton of money. This can make you a ton of money. This can make you thousands and thousands of dollars if you have a trend like this. Okay. And that's the thing with orb, you always have the potential for it to be a home run trade, because there's always a chance that you might catch the high or low of the day. So for example, if this wanted to continue lower, there's a chance that we caught the high of the day. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's the orb. So the orb is where I like to look at the 3-minute. We'll go on to the 5-minute chart and we're going to skip into fibs. So there was no triggers today because of a gap up. So usually with a gap up, your trigger will always be, just as a quick overview, the trigger will always be somewhere in the range. Okay. So that could be your long trigger and this could be your short trigger. It'll be in the range. So either the market has to retrace all the way down, which would be a good setup. This would be called a gap fill in order for you to get in, right? Or it's not going to fill at all. Okay, but let's go ahead to the fibs now. Okay. So Fibonacci, you guys know what it is. We generally need a direction. We just need a direction. That's all we need. Okay. So if the market goes down, we draw the fib to the downside. If the market goes up, we trade the market to the upside. Okay. So right here on the first two candles today, we had a clear directional move to the downside. Okay. So go ahead here. We'll take our Fibonacci from our high to our low. And what I'm going to do, just to teach you guys, I'm going to go to the basic fib that I have here, which will allow you to just focus on the key ones. 50, 786, there's your golden zone. So these three Fibonacci's create a golden zone. Okay. So you could see right here, guys, this right here, my friends, is an example of, let's go to the 1 minute so we can see it clearly. Sometimes you need to go down to the lower time frame to see it clearly. Okay. So here we go. So we can see it here. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that made this push down. Okay. We go in here, high to low. Right here, the 50%, that's your Fibonacci pullback. And then we push forward into a new low. Okay. So what the goal of the Fibonacci is, the goal is if the market goes down, let it pull back so you can get a deal. And this is best for options. Okay. This is best for option trading because you're always going to get the pullback. So the premiums are always going to be cheaper. So when it pulls back and it goes green, you're going to buy puts. When it's pulling back and going red, I'll show you later on in the day when we have the long opportunity, you're buying calls. So you're always doing the opposite of the chart because you're using the initial leg. So this is your initial leg. You're using that and saying, okay, if it pulls back, the short is going to add again. The short is going to add again. Okay. So let's think about this from a robot perspective. Okay. So let's try to understand this from a robot perspective. So let's say you're a robot, your algorithm, you trade the 1 minute opening range breakout. So here's the 1 minute candle. It breaks the low. Okay. So it breaks the low. You can see the robot is in short. So when it comes back now, okay, when it comes back up, so you're short from over here as the robot. So when it comes back up to the 50%, you're getting a 50% discount from buying down here. So instead, you add to your position here. So now when we make a new low, you cash out both of your positions. So you cash out that orb, you cash out that Fibonacci, and this right here is when you make a lot of money because you shorted here, you added here, and then in the new low, you get out, right? And what happens to most of the rookies on this? This is where the rookies short, right? The rookies will short here because they feel FOMO, right? They're going to short here. Retail is going to short here. Meanwhile, the algorithm is already up and the market squeezes right back up. Okay. And one thing that I love to do with the Fibonacci is look for the confirmation candles. So if we are below the 618 or 786, I love to see the confirmation. So for example, here on the 50, we have an inside bar. So if you go to the book, guys, right here, this is called candlestick confirmation. And candlestick confirmation is a powerful concept. So right here, candlestick confirmation, page 48. So basically, the inside bar stops right on the 50. You could see that the market is slowing down. And here's your entry. Here's your protection. Take it right back down. Okay. So that was the first play of the day. It was a 50% retracement. Okay. And from there, you could see the algorithm did its thing. Shorted here, added, made a new low. They're out. So I love using the Fibonacci, the pullback with the option contracts. The later in on the day that it goes, the better the options are going to be for me specifically, because a lot of the times the premium will decay. And that's going to give us an opportunity to get things for cheaper. Okay. So go ahead and hit me with a 7 if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So one thing now that I want to add to the Fibonacci, this might be, it's going to be a little bit advanced, but this is, my friends, a very powerful tool. Okay. And I really want you to just take the seatbelt and plug it in right now, get the pen and the pad out, because this one can make you a lot of money. So now this is about the next step of Fibonacci. So I put back on all of the lines here. So why is that important? Measured move completions, catching the bottom, catching the top. Can you catch the bottom? Can you catch the top? Not always, but you better believe if you catch the bottom, you will make a shit ton of money. Do you agree with me? If you catch the bottom of the stock market, or if you catch the top of the stock market, you will make a lot of money. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you can do that, you don't have to be 100% accurate. Even if you're 35% accurate and you catch the bottom, you will make a lot of money. But no one wants to talk about that, because in this industry, there's this concept of don't catch a falling knife, blah, 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 blah. All of these things, it's propaganda, because they want you to feel good with their little flags and hags and sags. But what I'm going to teach you is risk to reward. Okay, because if you catch the bottom, your risk to reward is always going to be much higher than taking a breakout. Because if you get the bottom, you get the bottom. And at the bottom, you're going to make the most money, not when it breaks out. Okay, because when it breaks out, you've missed half of the move. 75% of the move sometimes is gone. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Discord here. I'm going to show you this. So this happened twice today, and I want you to write this down. Anytime there's a pullback, there's an extension. Anytime there's a pullback, there's an extension. Anytime there's a pullback, there's an extension. If we pull back, we're going to extend. Okay, because when we pull back, the goal is to get to the extension. Okay. Let me ask you real quick. I haven't said this in a long time, but with a 2-to-1 risk to reward, what win rate do we need to make money? So on average, if we lose $100, but our winners are $200, if we make double our losers, what does the win rate need to be out of 100 trades? Let's see how much of you guys are focused on risk to reward, or how much of you guys are focused on just random patterns. Okay, because if you want to make money, there's a difference between making money and drawing lines on a chart. Anyone can draw a line on a chart. Very few people can make money because they don't understand the math behind this game. So with a 2-to-1 risk to reward, you only need to win 34 out of 100 trades. 34 out of 100. Remember that, because that is what the keys to the kingdom is. Okay. All right. So let's get into it right now. So we pulled back. What is the goal of this short algo? The goal is to make a new low. And when it makes a new low, the retail is going to short here, and the robot is going to cover the short to the retail, so the retail can get trapped. We can see it on this chart. This is what happened. Okay, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but this is what we're looking for to make the most money. We have the short algorithm pulled back to the 50. Okay, came down. We went to the extension 272. Okay. So the 272 extension starts the golden zone for reversal. So I like to do from the 272 to the 618, this box here. Okay. And where does that come from? That comes from my personal back testing and data. Okay. From years and years. So there's two ways. When we come into this zone, you can look for a confirmation candle. So do you see a confirmation candle in this zone? Do you guys see a confirmation candle in this zone? What is it? An outside bar right on the 272. Make sure you guys have the free indicators added to your chart, so it'll help you to identify the bars. Okay, I just linked it in the chat. So at the 272 extension, we had this outside bar confirmation. You take the break above, guys. Let me fast forward this now. This was down here. Okay, so that's over here, and this is where SPY closes on the day, all the way up here. So if you hit this trade, how much money do you think you're going to make? If you hit that trade, how much money do you think you're going to make? You could be wrong probably 60 times and be right 10 times, 15 times on this trade and make money, because it's the risk to reward is such in your favor. Okay. So there's always two parts of a Fibonacci. There's the pullback and there's an extension. The pullback and the extension. The pullback and the extension. So the extension is essentially trying to catch the top or the bottom. Okay. So let's go ahead here now, and we'll continue on with the price action, and I'll show you the next setup here. So I'll go ahead here and hit the replay. Okay. So here we go. The first 5-minute bar, we push down. So on the way back up here, if we draw our fib from our high to our low, I'll put it back on the basic settings. You could see the second time when we came through, we did not hold this short. So once this high of day broke, this is when we went full bullish mode. Okay. So we're always, when you only, so people always ask me, when do you change the fib? When the direction changes, when there's a new high or new low. Okay, that's when you swap. New high or new low. So here we go. So we made a new high, so we can clearly see this is bullish now. So we go ahead and put our anchor on the low and move it up to the high here. So let's continue. Okay, so there's our high right now. And if it goes higher, we just continue to move that anchor higher. Okay, so here we go, right on to the 50. So again, with the 50, candlestick confirmation, or we want to see two touches. So what do we have here? Just like what we had on the 1 minute chart, on the 50. So this was the 272 extension. We had an outside bar. On the 5 minute here, guys, we had an outside bar as well. This gives you a very, very tight risk. You enter when the high of the outside bar breaks and you're only risking the bar. So this gives you an optimal risk to reward. Okay. So here we go. We break through the outside bar and then that's it. Gone. Okay. So that was the afternoon leg that we had drawn up. The Discord right there. You can see we had it drawn up right before it touched the 50. So there was our next entry. And guess what? I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to make this full. Now check this out. What do we see here? Another 272 extension. Okay. So you can play those 272 extensions for reversals. You know, if you get puts up here, guys, and you take it back down, even though later on it pushes through, but still this move from here to here is easily 50% return, guys. Easily. Okay. With let's look at the points. Let's go ahead and look at the points on that. So that short was, where was that? What time was that? 11:55. 11:55 right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and count the points on this. So from here down 28 points, let's say 20 points. Okay, 20 points, that's $1,000. Not bad, right? Not bad. $1,000 on one contract. You can't complain about that. Okay, and then from there, the last leg we had was the sequence leg from low to high. Right here on the 618, took us straight into the close. And the sequence leg, I don't usually do it often, but if the market is trending, you will never get a chance to get another pullback. So you'll have to use a sequence. But this 50% right here was good enough to take you straight into the close. Right there, my friends, that's the basic on Fibonacci retracements and extensions. Retracements and extensions. Okay. And options lover on that one. Okay. Where did it go? Extensions and pullback. So let's just call it that. Options. Okay. All right. Hit me with a 10 if you guys are following me so far. I did not expect this video to be so long, but it is 23 minutes already. But guys, hit me with a like if you're loving the content there. I'm teaching you a lot of things right here. And a lot of these are just really based on risk to reward. That's the difference between you becoming profitable or not. I'm just going to tell you honestly, you could trade anything you want, but a lot of the systems that are out there nowadays, especially like different wedges and flags, they have an inverted risk to reward because it's chasing something, right? Whenever you have to chase something and you don't get a pullback, you don't get a reversal, you will most likely end up in a situation where you're paying a premium for that. And when you pay a premium for that, it's very difficult to make money, especially with options. Very, very difficult. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, so that was my full recap on SPY today. So let's go over now to Microsoft. So Microsoft, guys, really helped me today to make a lot of money. And we've been discussing Microsoft for a very, very long time. And I really want to just bring that up as well. Okay. So in the Discord under swing trades, I also post some of my longer term plays, some of my different setups like Microsoft. You can see back in April over there. Oh, sorry, October. What I'm saying, April, October. So there's different strategies, right? But the Fibonacci can work on anything. Okay, so let's go back here to Microsoft. So the COVID low, we'll go ahead here, was 132.52. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this up. So 132.52 was the COVID low, and the high before the market retracement, 349.67. So the same things that I'm teaching you on the lower time frames, I also love to do on the higher time frames. So on Microsoft, guys, I was able to add a lot of positions down here. And you could see right here, guys, as soon as we tagged the 618, we squeezed right through. So this is also happening on multiple time frames. So this is just an example of, for those people that cannot day trade, for those people that don't have the time, check us out, guys. I also do these long-term plays for my long-term holdings, as well as just for short-term swing trades. Microsoft is something I told you guys I'm always focusing on. This name I've been in Microsoft for extremely long time, and anytime we get these dips in the market, it's my go-to name. And you can see how it performed today, 8%, not bad. Amazon leading the way, and Nvidia as well, another one. And Apple. So the big names did extremely well today, but that's an example right there. It's a little bit of a side note, but I just wanted to say you could trade less in theory. So if you had the patience all year to wait for particular plays, 618 retracements of the weekly, the monthly chart, you could do maybe like 5 plays a year and make a lot of money, right? Obviously, if you're right. But the point is you're getting a deal regardless because you're buying the retracement. Okay. So hit me with a 6 if that makes sense. All right, so that is something I wanted to point out that is important, especially for longer term investors, for young individuals. They want to get into the game. For people that don't have the time, I set these up, guys, and I leave them. So as soon as we had this COVID low to high, I already put the orders in. So I put an order on the 50% and I put an order on the 618. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so let's go right here. So I'll give you an example. So this is the broker. So what we're going to do right now, I'm going to show you how to put some long-term positions in. All right. Hit me with a 2 if you want to do that. And what I need you guys to do is just to show me some support, click on the Interactive Brokers link, which is just a link to a guide. And it shows the Interactive Brokers that our community is interested in what they're doing. So it really helps me a lot. Okay. So let me just go ahead. I'm going to find it. It's in the description. I'm just going to go grab it and I'm going to link it to you guys. So if you go in the description to any video, you can go ahead here and you can just click on future trading conditional orders. Click on conditional orders. Okay. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to send it over to you guys. So let's talk about how you can, man, that one didn't work. One sec, guys. Shit. I didn't get the full link there. But see if you can click on it for me in the description. It's in the description of this video right now. I didn't get the full link. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, because it's a short link. Try clicking in the one in the description, guys, and let me know. 404 code. Okay, 1 second, guys. I will get it. Give me 1 sec. I'm trying to prove to all of the brokers out there that, we have good content and stuff. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to get the original link right here. And then we can look at this together. Okay. So here we go. I got the link. So click on that link now in the chat. Okay. So that's the right one. Click on that link. Hit me with a 2 when you're in there. And then we'll start. So we did this together the last time we did a paper trade. We bought 100 shares of Apple and it's up $1,230. So we're 100% win rate on our paper trading account. So we can post this to Twitter now. That's what most people do. Anyways, so let's go to Microsoft here. So what you can do in Interactive Brokers, just go ahead here to, I like to go to the monthly. But to be honest, all of my analysis is done on Tradingview. I literally just use Interactive Brokers to input the orders. So let's say you want to buy the 618. So it's 215.47, right? So you can go here, hit buy, quantity 100. Let's just say you want to do 100 shares. So this is where you set the ability to have the trade open forever. Okay. So instead of day, you can say good to cancel. You can also put fill outside regular trading hours or allow, I don't know about allow pre-open. I don't usually do that one. I do fill outside regular trading hours if you want. So that means if it hits your target price in the pre-market, which is an advantage, guys, because sometimes Sometimes I'm going to give you an example, like PayPal the other day, after earnings, it was at $67 and now it's at $89 or whatever it is. And to get the $67 price, you could only get it after hours because, the stock market is manipulated in certain ways, right? And that's definitely a factor. So 215.47. So you go here, limit, you just type this in here, 215.47. Okay. If you're doing a long-term play, you don't necessarily need to have a stop loss, but you could click here, advance, and you can attach a stop loss. So you probably don't want to put a target. If you're not swing trading, if you're holding this, you don't need to put a target, but you could put a stop loss. So for example, let's say your stop loss, you want to use is 786. So you just go ahead here and you put 178.99. Hit submit, override in transit, etc. So now you'll see your order on the chart right there. And this will be in there. You could see it says good to cancel. So if you double click on the order, it'll say good to cancel, meaning until you cancel this trade will always remain open. So literally on the weekend, you could do your analysis, what you want to trade, what you want to get in. You set your trades up and you let it do its thing throughout the week. You do your 9 to 5 and let the broker do the work. All right. So that's an example, long-term with the 10, if that makes sense. All right. So that one is pretty straightforward. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go look at Starbucks because remember, Starbucks was one of our top picks going into today. And we're going to talk about fractals. So how you can enter using fractals. Okay. So I'm not going to talk about triggers today because we're going to keep it at these 3 triggers. I talked about a lot yesterday. So please watch the video yesterday if you want to learn more about triggers. But let's go ahead and let's look at fractals. So what are fractals? So fractals, the 2 main patterns I focus on are the Holy Grail and the Nirvana. Okay. So the Holy Grail is a part of my free indicators and the Holy Nirvana is for book members. Okay. So the Nirvana is the blue and the Holy Grail is yellow. Okay. So here's an example of a Holy Grail. So on Lotto Fridays, what you can do is if you just want to play pure price action, you can wait for these patterns to develop. So for example, today on Starbucks, we had a Nirvana around 10:55. So the way you play this is you take the break of the high of the candle or the low. So just like an opening range breakout, and you put the stop loss on the other side. So essentially it's an opening range breakout of the fractal pattern. So you could see here in Starbucks, it broke to the upside with, as long as you kept your stop loss right there, guys, you will be able to ride this into the close. What's the point of these type of trades? The point is that it gives you a very small risk. So you risk, just this bar. You're risking a bar at a time, right? So I love it. I love it in that sense. Let me just double click this. So you risk 1 bar. So that is going to help a lot of new traders that struggle with risk management, that struggle with over trading, all of these things. You risk 1 bar. So that way, if you're wrong, you lose only 1 bar, but your upside could be 5, 10, 15, 20 bars, depending on where you catch it. Also, like to combine this with fibs. Okay, you don't have to, but if we have a nice Fibonacci pullback combined with the Nirvana, or the Holy Grail, that is a really, really good option as well. All right, so let's go ahead on SPY and let's look for some. let's go to something like the 15-minute because this can be done on all time frames, right? So let's go ahead and look. So so here's an example of a Nirvana 15-minute. Here's a 15-minute Holy Grail, just a little scalp there. Some of them are big winners. This one is a scalp. Never take it too close to the close because you won't have enough time. This is a big winner. So go back and just look at the stocks you want to trade. Here's a nice winner and see how they respond to these patterns. So SPY definitely loves to respond to these patterns in a good way, especially on the 15-minute chart. So if you do see these patterns, you could do it risking 1 bar at a time. If you want to get the Nirvana, it's a part of any one of the books. So if you get any one of the 3 books, you get the Nirvana for life. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to mention here is everything I just talked about is in the S&P 500 Options Mastery book. It's under this section called Lotto Strategies 0 Day to Expire, page 54. So for anybody that has the book, this is where I talk about everything I just did and a little bit more detail as well. Guys, if you want to come trade with us live tomorrow in the Discord, you can sign up right here at tradingwars.com. If you get any one of the 3 books, you get 30 days for free in the Discord. You get the premium indicators for life. So the Nirvana and the Golden with alerts. So you can send alerts to your dog, to your grandmother, whoever you want to, or you can sign up right here on the main page. All right. So just to summarize here, great day. What I want to focus on for my top 3 strategies, definitely the opening range breakout, fibs and fractals. I also love triggers. So for me, it's kind of like 4, but for a new trader, I would recommend you stick with 3. And definitely the orb and the fibs are 2 must. The trigger is a very powerful one because it's just one line, right? And the fractals are there for those that want to trade purely price action. Okay, so we did Microsoft, we did Starbucks. Let's look at futures right now. So where did the futures market close? Future market closed right there. So you could see right at 6 o'clock here, we had some selling coming in, but now we are pulling right back up. So that's interesting. We'll see how that develops in the open tomorrow. All right. So last thing I want to do, my top pick for tomorrow, guys, is Tesla. Tesla with a powerful holy grail on the daily chart. I just did the scan on Trendspider. So we will be looking at Tesla tomorrow in detail. This is going to be a big play for tomorrow, guys. One thing to note about Tesla here, we look at this. A lot of stocks today made new highs. A lot of stocks made new highs. Tesla did not break the high of yesterday. It's still in the range. So if we go to the 5-minute right here on Tesla, we can see a big box, small box developing. So here's our big box right there. And here's our small box. So the big box, small box, this box is looking to break tomorrow. Okay, whether to the upside or downside, could go either way, and we'll be ready. So Tesla is one that you guys should be ready to rock and roll with tomorrow. I'm going to post it right on the Twitter. We are at 99,982. If you guys, can you guys go ahead and, if you haven't followed me, if you can right now, that would be great. And then let's see if we can break 100K on stream. I'll just give some final thoughts before we leave. Okay. So a few things, make sure you have the golden indicators. That's going to help you a lot. And just, if you feel overwhelmed, I would focus on just one of these strategies. In the books, I explain all of these strategies in detail, especially this one, S&P 500 Options Mastery. You can see the orb is here, Fractal, Trigger, Fibonacci. So that's the 4 go-tos, and each one has its own section, okay? And just, if you want to, you could just focus on one. So you could just do orbs, you could just do fibs, you could just do triggers. And then that might be something that you want to start off with, okay? That before you kind of keep pushing yourself to add more strategies. Let's see that. 84. All right. I don't think we'll break it on stream. But anyways, guys, look, thanks for your time. I hope to see you in the room tomorrow. If you want to trade live with us, I'll be going live at the open. Otherwise than that, guys, thank you so much for your time. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to kind of elaborate a little bit more on these. What we could do, if you guys want, we could do a case study, and we can go back to the last 10 Fridays or the last 5 Fridays. I think that's a good idea. So we can do a case study together. We can go back to the last 5 or 10 Fridays, and we can look at the price action, and we can talk about Lotto Friday in detail. If you guys want to do that, leave a comment in the description and let me know. And let's see if we can get 200 likes on this video. If you guys want that, I will do it, and we will do a deep dive into that. All right. Thank you very much for your time, and take care. See you tomorrow.